Welcome, Climate Viewers. This is Jim Lee from ClimateViewer News at ClimateViewer.com. And I had to ask myself, what would Mike do? We lost our good brother, Mike Morales, Above Ground World News last week. It's been a rough weekend. And I said, what would Mike do? I'm pretty sure if Mike was feeling up to it, he'd give them hell. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. For those that don't know, briefly, I'm going to get into this. Our good friend Mike Morales passed away. My last video was about that. We were actually doing an online prayer while he was on hospice. And he passed away more than likely during that video or shortly thereafter. And I do believe our prayers were heard. And also my good friend Fallout Shelter right here is also in the chat. We did I want to say celebration for Mike. And you guys should go over to Fallout Shelter's channel and check that out if you haven't. It's right here. Rest in peace. Why does this look so short, dude? We were in there like a long time. There's got to be another video. But anyway, all of us got together and we were praying for Mike, saying, what a good job he did. And really, it turned into a celebration. And the thing I want to talk about today is, what would Mike do? Mike would give him hell. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. And the last video I did before this tragic incident was called Chemtrails, Debunking the Fact Checkers. And it got cut short, and there was a whole lot more I wanted to say. But today we're going to say it all. We're going to say it proud. We're going to rise up, armor up, and we're going to raise hell. So buckle your seatbelts. If you're new here, if you're watching this somewhere else, come over to YouTube at ClimateViewer on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. And if you can support the channel, go to connect.climateviewer.com. See all of my social media, that sort of stuff. That being said, let's get into it. You've heard it all before. So I covered this one in the last video. Those long, thin clouds you see behind the planes are contrails, not chemtrails. That video was right here. Chemtrails, debunking the fact checkers. 51 minutes of beautiful bitching from a guy like me. At the fact checkers, because I think fact checkers are pathetic. They're worse than debunkers. At least debunkers, you can argue with them. So I feel a need to debunk fact checkers because the lamestream media are at it. And I figured out why. This is the important part. The why is always overlooked. In this video, we also briefly covered this right here, fact check. The first one was from 9 News, ABC News. The second one was from USA Today. This was dated April 14th, 2023. Fact check, no airplane contrails are not being used to combat climate change, aka geoengineering. And we called bullshit on that, and we started to go through all the reasons why. And I really didn't get through all of it because I really wanted to. But no, we're not going to. I'm not going to jump ahead. Let's just get to the one today. So then a new one came out April 28th. Shout out to Nikki from Nikki Florio from BeHeroic.com for sending me this one. If you guys see any fact checks, I'm going to do this because you know what? What would Mike do? And that's what I mean, this is what I live for. I love a good fight. So today we gonna fight. But we're gonna attack ideas, not people. So to Isabella Fertel, I apologize in advance for the mental ass whipping you're about to receive, but you are a slacker. You do not deserve the title of fact checker. I am the ultimate fact checker. If Facebook wants to hire me to fact check shit on Facebook and Instagram, I will do it. I'd much rather do it than what I'm doing now. And I'll have fun doing it, and it'll actually be accurate, as you're about to see. I want that to be a hashtag from now on, guys. For this community, hashtag WWMD. What would Mike do? What would Mike do? Make it happen. That's on you guys. Anyway, so what does this fool say? Fact check. No, the media did not admit governments are utilizing geoengineering technologies. Now, I'm going to skip all the way to the end to start with, because this is the important part. Our fact check is, all right. Our fact check work is supported in part by a grant from, son of a bitch, from Facebook. So if you're wondering where these fact checks are coming from, it's because now Facebook is paying these fake, lamestream, old school, slack media outlets to do the fact checking for them. Why? Because they want to do things like this. They want to put up a little flag in front of your post that says, false information, independently checked by fact check, reviewed by independent fact checkers. Now, do you think somebody working for USA Today is an independent fact checker by any stretch of the imagination? I don't think so. I don't think so. They are partisan hacks that work for whack-ass old magazines that nobody listens to anymore. People don't watch the news on TV. They don't trust the news on TV. That's what we are here for. That's why people tune into this stuff. Otherwise, what the hell? They literally fact-checked and then wrote an article in USA Today about a video, a freaking post on Instagram that has less than 239 likes. I'd give my left testicle for them to fact check one video from me. Just one. I double dog dare anybody on the planet working for any of these rags to fact check me. You will never see a fact check flag on anything that I post on Facebook or any of these social media outlets, because guess what? They'd rather just shadow ban the hell out of me because they don't want anybody looking at what you're about to see. But now that we've pointed out the obvious, where this is all coming from, it's coming from the fact checkers who are funded by Facebook. Now let's see what this Isabella Fertel, independent fact checker, who's writing in USA Today, said in an April 23rd Instagram post, direct link here, archived link here. Oh, I went to that. This post literally has 264 likes. By the way, I did not remove the fact check label. Let's just refresh the page. When I'm logged in, because they know who the I am, there's no fact check there. Do you see this? Now watch. I'm going to go to the other one. I'm going to go over here to Brave browser. This is not logged in. Same damn post. I'm going to go back to the Instagram post. And now that I'm logged in, they're like, let's not put a fact check on there because he's not going to believe any of that anyway. That's the algorithm. That is propaganda. That is mind control. These slack sons of bitches think that they could get away with this. Caught you, bitch. And today we're going to talk about you. So I'm going to read everything, and I'm really going to break down what you're actually doing, because guess what? When you actually read the People's Voice article, which I'm going to read it in its entirety, because I believe context matters. Quote, the mainstream media has finally admitted what alternative media has been reporting for years, reads the text in the screenshotted article. Governments across the world are secretly manipulating the weather using top secret geoengineering technology. The screenshot also includes an image of an airplane leaving white trails in the sky. Oh, God forbid. Maybe that's because that's what's on the article. Because that's what they put on the article. Mainstream media finally admit government is manipulating our weather. I'm going to drop that in chat for all of you playing along at home, because we're going to go through that and see what they're actually bitching about here, okay? Back to this thing. No, it's this one. The post garnered more than 200 likes in 3 days. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? How does a post on Instagram with less than 300 likes get an entire damn article in USA Today? Am I in fucking bizarro world? I mean, really? Oh, Lord. Oh, my heart. Anyway, our rating false. The article erroneously conflates geoengineering technologies with cloud seeding and the chemtrail conspiracy theory. Really? That's what you're gonna say. Okay. Climate scientists say geoengineering technology is not yet in use, and still being researched. The article was published by a website that regularly publishes fabricated stories. Oh, you mean like fake news? Like fabricated stories like the one we're looking at right now? USA Today regularly publishes fabricated stories. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all of them regularly post fabricated stories. Plain and simple. We all know it. I see everybody talking about Dane in chat. Dane Wigington, geoengineeringwatch.org. He is also a vocal advocate of, or a vocal adversary, we'll just use that word, of the geoengineering agenda. That's the Dane Wigington they're talking about, and I suggest everybody go to geoengineeringwatch.org and check him out as well. Ain't no shame in this game. So let's go to the heart of this. What are they actually talking about here? There's no evidence in mainstream outlets reported the government using geoengineering technologies. Oh, wait, what's this? I'm going to go to geoengineeringmonitor.org, which is a nonprofit NGO, non-governmental organization run by the ETC group and a whole bunch of people. Heinrich Boll Stiftung, I can't even pronounce it. It's German. Okay, it's German. Don't make a redneck try to pronounce a foreign language, okay? I'm going to fail, but regardless, active geoengineering programs. There are no action. Why would you follow Dane when we have Jim? Oh, Lori. Oh, that's so damn sweet. I see what you're doing there. I'm not going to get dragged into it. I used to beef with Dane, but you know what? Dane came on quite frankly, and quite frankly, he made a lot of sense that day, and I have forgiven Dane, and I am no longer have a beef with Dane. And this video isn't about Dane. This video is about dumbasses in the mainstream media. Let's continue to debunk fact checkers. So their first claim is that there's no evidence Mainstream media reported governments utilizing geoengineering technologies. In fact, they went on to say that, they actually talked to Alan Robach. We're going to get to that in a minute. Oh my God, wait till we open that Alan Robach door. That there are no geoengineering programs. Nothing to see here. Nobody's ever tested geoengineering, any of that sort of thing. But I go over here to geoengineeringmonitor.org. This is map.geoengineeringmonitor.org. And I'll drop that in chat for you guys. All the links are in the video details under video references. So everything you're seeing right now is already in there. I don't just make these videos to like toot my own horn and like I am having a freaking ball today, because I'll be damned if I'm going to be sad any longer. I can't help myself. It's been a horrible weekend. I'm gonna have fun today. So on here, we have the Marine Cloud Brightening Project, which has been around since the late 90s. Stephen Salter, John Latham started this project. It was actually called the Silver Lining Project to begin with. But the Marine Cloud Brightening Project is still in effect, is being tested constantly. The idea of marine cloud brightening, I covered it in a video titled Geoengineering the Great Barrier Reef, Marine Cloud Brightening, where I actually show the guys, doing their thing. I think I can bring up some of that beautiful footage right here. Why hast thou no sound? Is it muted? It's not muted. Okay, we'll figure that out. Maybe I don't have it set. Hold on. Yep, it's on speakers. I was blasting music while I was prepping for the video. My bad.
Twice as many
but that's the marine cloud brightening generators right there, and you can see all that junk right there on the back of a ship. And what they do is they suck sea salt up in, and then they spray it out of this jet engine that you're seeing here.
So one of the great
right behind this guy. See that?
Cloud brightening is just
here, I'll pause on it real quick.
We love the coast.
That ME controls Southern Cross University's marine cloud brightening to save the Great Barrier Reef. Not no geoengineering happening here. Nothing to see here. Do not look. Not geoengineering. Okay. But yeah, I covered this video. This video is dated a year ago. Real generic for us there. Lead Slinger, thanks, Jim. You do so much for us. Thank you so much, Lead Slinger. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Video link in detail in the comments right there. So there's one. That's the Marine Cloud Brightening Project. Covered that. And then over here they have, what's this? Make Sunsets. Make Sunsets, founded in October 2022, was basically an idiot tossing balloons in the air and then trying to sell cooling credits. Make Sunsets has conducted unauthorized test flights with helium weather balloons and SO2 sulfur dioxide from Baja California near La Ventana, Mexico. And as a result, Mexico banned geoengineering. And I covered that in a video titled, guess what? Mexico bans geoengineering. And here's the idiot tossing a balloon into the air filled with sulfur dioxide. Similarly, just to point this out, and this is a little irony, when he did it, when his company Make Sunsets, he threw some balloons into the air. That was called rogue geoengineering, illegal geoengineering. Why is it illegal? Because the 2012 Convention for it was 2010. 2010 Convention for Biological Diversity put a ban on geoengineering until everybody agreed it was okay, because it might start World War III. And that's, you can Google geoengineering might start just put geoengineering World War III. you'll see a plethora of articles about how geoengineering could start World War III. And guess what? China is doing that. That's going to come up in the video. It's coming up in the video very short. Yes, they didn't have a permit, Willie. That's right. They didn't get permission from the one world government at the United Nations to geoengineer. That's what they mean. Lori D, love you, mean it. What would Mike do? Mike would raise hell with them. That's what Mike would do. And that's what I've always been. I mean, maybe it's a Southern thing. I don't know. But Mike, that's what me and Mike had in common. You know, we're just Southerners and we like to bitch about shit. And I'm going to bitch about shit today because I'm tired of being sad. So I'm going to take it out on, and I apologize. You know, I'm not taking it out particularly on this poor Isabella Fertel. But you a bad person for having such bad ideas. Okay, I said it. All right, I said it. So that's back to the thing. And then they've got other projects on here. Oh wait, here's the marine cloud brightening over the Great Barrier Reef. Like I said, and maybe I should blow that up a little bit. Ah, man, it covers up the thing. Great Barrier Reef MCB marine cloud brightening trial, large scale. Southern Cross University. Yeah, I covered that in my video. So obviously, I know what I'm talking about, and they agree. But you can go all over the world and see these different projects. Over here in the UK, they got marine cloud brightening with seawater. Stephen Salter. Oh, did I just mention him? Stephen Salter, emeritus professor from engineering design at the University of Edinburgh. Conducts research on marine cloud brightening boats. And he also has something called the Salter Sink, which is a way to steer hurricanes. It was brought up at the 2008 Department of Homeland Security Hurricane Modification Workshop. Damn, that's a mouthful. But anyway, so the point is geoengineering is most certainly occurring. And cirrus cloud thinning. Let's go a little deeper into this article, because this is where it's going to get funny. I'm going to have to close this other one because I'm going to keep clicking on it. So let me close these real quick. Otherwise, I'll just keep going back to them. So their whole point is what we know about cloud seeding and geoengineering. There's no evidence, blah, blah, blah. The People's Voice article includes several video clips of footage featured on ABC News, the other people that wrote the chemtrail fact check. Coincidence? I don't think so. About the Power of Water series aired Earth Week 2023, and the clip's meteorologist Ginger Z discussed cloud seeding and its use in the Rocky Mountain region to mitigate efforts of drought. The article also features several ABC News articles and cloud seeding programs and a tweet from Z about cloud seeding, but the article erroneously conflates three distinct concepts: cloud seeding, geoengineering, and the chemtrail conspiracy. So what does this fool think cloud seeding is? Cloud seeding refers to a localized, it's just local, guys, form of weather manipulation, not weather modification. It's always been called weather modification, Isabella. You should at least get your terminology right while you're fact checking. So I want to debunk your fact check on that alone. It's weather modification. Nobody says manipulation. They haven't. We got 804. I mean, if you go to weathermodificationhistory.com, okay? If you go to this beautiful website, and you go all the way into our newspaper article bin, which is right here, newspaper vault, you can see over 850 newspapers, and they've been calling it weather modification since the 1900s. And you can't tell me that it's just a little thing. It's a new thing. It's a relatively new thing. No, it's been going around on forever and ever more. Would you call that a chemtrail truck? I don't know. I mean, seriously. Popular science likes the chemtrail truck. But anyway, we won't get sidetracked. I could dig through just this all day long. Seagram's, vodka, pleasure or profit from man-made snow, brought to you by the airline industry. If you look at the history, I heard a funny one because I got a saying on weathermodificationhistory.com. Okay. And if you guys don't know the saying, you won't get how funny this is. Those who forget the past are doomed to repeat it. And it comes from George Santayana. And it's actually condemned to repeat it. But regardless, doom sounds much cooler. And I was reading something last night, and in a freaking comic strip, the guy says, those who don't study the past are doomed to repeat it. And those who do study history are doomed to stand by and watch history repeat itself, being able to do nothing about it. And that's largely the way I feel. I've been on YouTube since 2011, I looked at my About page today. And there are still fact checkers propagandizing everybody. There are people like Mike, like Dane, that have been making hundreds of videos with hours of evidence. What's changed? It's just not enough fight in people. I don't know. To fight ideas, not people. Clarifications. But fact checkers are retarded. I agree with Rich. So we'll get back to fact checking these people. So, localized form of weather manipulation, okay? That utilizes aircraft to inject clouds with silver iodide to induce precipitation on a hyper-local scale. Hyper-local. Boy, that's fancy. I've never heard the word hyper-local used for anything that's actually done on a worldwide scale. Don't believe me? Bring up that beautiful ClimateViewer 3D. So would you say that this is a hyper local scale, guys? You just tell me. We're looking at cloud seeding projects around the world. This is weather modification on a worldwide basis. Now, what's that bright red area coming around on the bin? Oh my God. What is that? What the hell is that? That is what you call one big ass weather modification project by China. How big? Because as the article just stated very clearly that they're conflating cloud seeding with geoengineering. Well, how do you explain this? Cirrus cloud thinning. It's a geoengineering project. Do you know what cirrus cloud thinning is? It's also called cirrus cloud seeding. Cirrus cloud seeding. That is a geoengineering technique. Why would they want to do cirrus cloud seeding? Because, as my graphic clearly illustrates, if the time and place of cirrus cloud seeding is selected with care, the climate effect of cirrus thinning can be enhanced. For that, only the long wave warming effect of cirrus clouds should be targeted, and their solar effect should be avoided. This can be achieved if seeding is limited to high latitude winters or nighttime seeding. Cirrus cloud seeding geoengineering. And the reason why is because there is no greenhouse gas. There is only a greenhouse. And anybody who's not an idiot knows that a greenhouse is actually made of either plastic or glass, some kind of transparent material, and that's what holds the heat in. Molecules don't hold heat. But cirrus clouds, plain farts, making clouds all over the place, filled with all of these metals, those are the greenhouse. That is the greenhouse, is that big stripe in the sky that holds the heat in. That's why geoengineering cloud seeding is called cirrus cloud seeding or cirrus cloud thinning. The idea is that you keep the clouds, as Dr. Rangasai Halthori from the Aviation Climate Change Research Initiative said, we would like to have more contrail-induced cirrus clouds by day and none by night. And Dr. Ulrich Schumann from the Germany's DLR, that's their NASA, he said, we want less warming and more cooling contrails, predictable for operational planning. So, riddle me this. If the chemtrail conspiracy is just a conspiracy and they're not using it for geoengineering purposes, but they're saying the head of the FAA, who I interviewed, said, we want more clouds by day, none by night. Right here on the ETC Group's geoengineering monitor map, cirrus cloud thinning, we want to melt those clouds away at night so that the heat returns to space at nighttime. How the F does this fact checker get off saying that it's hyper local and it's only weather manipulation? It's not geoengineering. I'm going to take it a step further. You dare me? Dare me. Double dare me. All right, let's go further. How about I come over here and let's not get Jim's opinion on this, because Jim doesn't just form his opinions on a whim. You know, like I talk to scientists too, Isabella. In fact, I talked to the scientist who wrote this, James Roger Fleming. Fixing the Sky, the Checkered History of Weather and Climate Control. That logo looks familiar to you? If it does, if that logo looks familiar to you, that's because it's right here on weathermodificationhistory.com. And it comes from the Collier's magazine in 1954. Look familiar, guys? Weather Made to Order by Navy Captain H.T. Orville. Ike's advisor reports man's progress on weather control. 1954. Okay? So I didn't just take my word for it. I asked Dr. James Roger Fleming, who I also interviewed. Don't believe me? I'll come down here to the bottom, just putting my credentials on the table here. There's Jim Lee with Dr. James Roger Fleming right there. That is his face. And I interviewed him at the 21st Conference on Planned and Inadvertent Weather Modification in Austin, Texas, at the American Meteorological Society. And when I interviewed him, not making this shit up.
Is, are we at war?
That's me and him sitting.
We can obviously do this for 5 minutes. We can do it all day.
That's a big hair don't care
and
right
Harry
there.
Wexler warned, as you so well pointed out, that punching holes in the ionosphere and using
a movement to ban atmospheric nuclear testing after
experiments, we wouldn't know till after the fact.
I think there's a real important role you can play in this.
Best compliment I ever got in my life. To have James Roger Fleming saying that my Environmental Modification Accountability Act could play an important role in the future of geoengineering and accountability and all that stuff. Greatest day of my life. Single greatest day of my life. So not only have I talked to him via Twitter, as you're about to see, to confirm what I'm about to tell you, that this fact checker does not know what they're talking about. I have met him in person. I've interviewed him, and this is his freaking book right here. Now, I asked Dr. James Roger Fleming about China. You know, that thing. That's a really big thing. And what we're talking about here, just for a little background, I'm going to blow this up nice and big so everybody can see at home. That China plans on putting tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of cloud seeding generators all over the Tibetan plateau. Why? because it works like this. The air carries the little silver iodide, little particles up into there on a hyperlocal scale. And that makes snow on top of the Tibetan plateau. And then they can use that to fill all of the rivers and tributaries that come off of this. So I actually took this picture right here of the area of the Tibetan plateau that they plan on cloud seeding, and I put it into Google Earth, and then I made that into a map, and that's how I came up with this. I didn't just make this up. And I asked James Roger Fleming, I said, Dr. Fleming, what do you think about this large thing? And you can see it right here. This is exactly what I said to him. ETC Group calling Chinese plan to cover Tibet in cloud seeding generators a geoengineering project. Do you agree this is a Mothra effect, not the butterfly effect, a Mothra effect, or that it should classify as geoengineering? See tweets above. James Roger Fleming replied, yes. And you can see the photo here. He's deleted his Twitter since this tweet. So I have a photo of it here when it was embedded, and I have the original here. And it was December 4th, 2018. This is right after I interviewed him, same year. Yes, a massive chemical cloud seeding of this type and of the type proposed in the 1950s by Irving Langmuir are of the scale to be considered climate intervention, geoengineering. His words, not mine. Dr. James Roger Fleming said that cloud seeding on a large enough scale can be considered geoengineering. Debunked! Oh, shit! Oh, it feels good. Isabella, you got burned. You got burned. Wait, I'm going to burn you again. ETC Group email. This is the people that make the geoengineering monitor.org website that I showed you earlier. I get their personal emails. I've talked to Pat Mooney and Silvio Riviero and Jim. Jim. There's a Jim that works there. I'm having a brain fart. This year, we've been tracking a few high-profile geoengineering experiments in Arizona, Alaska, California, and Chile. Another massive project recently came to light on the Tibetan Plateau. A new research exposes what might be the largest geoengineering project to date, a weather modification project in the Himalayas, which is also part of an alarming pattern of dispossession of indigenous inhabitants, the Tibetan people. That's who they're talking about. 7 years in Tibet, go watch it. That's who the Chinese are screwing. While a weather modification project at this scale is alarming enough, the infrastructure used could easily transfer over to stratospheric aerosol injection. Boom! Right there. Right there in the no square. Right there in the no square. Your face. So if China is geoengineering the whole damn planet with weather modification, then maybe you're wrong. Fact checker, you've been debunked. Geoengineering refers to emerging climate intervention. That's what James Roger Fleming, he came up with the term climate intervention. I'll back this up. So it was called geoengineering. And then they said, geo is Earth, and we're actually engineering the climate. So then they go, climate engineering. That's what we're going to call it. So the DC Geoengineering Group renamed themselves the Forum for Climate Engineering Assessment, FCEA. Okay, I'm following along here. So it used to be geoengineering, then it was climate engineering, and then James Roger Fleming went to the CIA-funded research that we're going to talk about in a minute, because we're going to talk about Alan Robach and the CIA. Ooh, it's going to get spooky in here. So James Roger Fleming made the argument that we're not engineering anything because we cannot control this, aka the checkered history of weather and climate control. You cannot fix the sky. You cannot control Mother Nature. God controls Mother Nature. God controls the weather. But you can intervene in it. You can modify it. You cannot engineer it. You cannot control it. And when you modify it, you break, you buy. That's the whole point of the Environmental Modification Accountability Act, holding people accountable. But the point he makes is he wants to call it intervention. So that's where this term comes from. Geoengineering refers to a number of emerging climate intervention technologies that could manipulate the atmosphere to mitigate the effects of climate change. These are not yet in use. Now, people, first of all, and I made this very clear, there are already field trials going on. These are documented on the Geoengineering Monitor website. I have been covering them for years on my YouTube channel, on ClimateViewer News, and in the timeline on weathermodificationhistory.com and on climateviewer.org. There are maps of these things. Now, the thing that's not being said is, oh, but wait a minute. Could the government actually be doing this? That's just a conspiracy theory. You sure? You sure? Because what if I told you that cloud seeding could be geoengineering? I already said that. Shit. What if I told you that the military has been caught and admitted to cloud seeding? Because in the last video I did on chemtrails, debunking fact checkers, what we did was we talked about, they said that owning the weather in 2025 was the reason why the chemtrail conspiracy came up, because they mentioned some stuff about black carbon and carbon black dust. This is very important. Okay, this is the very important part. Now I want you to see this little jewel right here. The Test Technology Symposium 97. Owning the Weather in 2025 came out in 1995 through 1996. It says it right here. Let me make it bigger. Dr. Arnold Barnes Jr. from the United States Air Force Phillips Lab gave a presentation titled Session B, Advanced Weapon Instrumentation Technology, where he discussed making owning the weather in 2025 a reality. Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory. And these are some of the slides. First, he mentions the UN Convention on the Prohibition of Military or Other Hostile Uses of Environmental Modification, also known as the Environmental Modification Convention, ENMOD, ENMOD. And how, it really only applies to widespread or long-lasting or severe environmental modifications. But let's just skip past all. The official Air Force position needs to be reevaluated, because weather warfare is epic. Weather warfare is epic. This is 1997 now, guys. Hold on to your britches. I'm going to come down here to the bottom. I'm going to skip past all of this stuff on the FOIAs and everything first, just so you can see. And this is where I got it from. I did not make this up. This comes from, and you can go just like this, and you can come like this, and go to web.archive.org to the original dtc.army.mil website. So this is the United States Army military website. This is not from some conspiracy rag. This is Dr. Arnold Barnes, Phillips Lab GPO, Hanscom Air Force Base at Test Technology Symposium 97, the Army After Next, how will we test? Weather modification. He had a PowerPoint presentation. I downloaded it. Okay. This is where I got these from. Yes, we digs deep on the internet. I am internet master. I also included a copy of this on Scribd, and you can download it for yourself. But this is what the slides look like, guys. And you'll see that right here, potential weather modification capabilities. He says Air Force 2025. Then he goes on to say treaty issues. Oh, but NMOD. Oh, no. What about HARP? What can we use that for? Lots of things. Lots of things. Did I mention HARP? Oh, wait. You mean like these things all over the freaking planet? Map list, please. Come down here. And we'll just go to... We'll turn off the weather modification projects for now. How about that? That'll make it easier to see. Because they're all over the globe too. And 50 years of the United Nations, and we're left with what I got a cloud seeding project still up there. But it doesn't really matter. There you go. Nope. We want that one. We want that one off. And that one. All right. And then these are all the ionospheric heaters around the world, like HARP. Work with me here soon. Zoom, bitch. Get out the way. Millstone Hills Incoherent Scatter Radar, the Tromso array, all of these different arrays, all these different ionospheric heaters. So HARP is not alone. There are many of these. They're all over the damn planet. Down in India, over in Japan. My face is in front of the effing picture. Why didn't chat? You let me down. You let me down. But yeah, there are ionospheric heaters all over the damn planet. Down in Jicamarca, Peru, 4.5 million watts. Nothing to shake a stick at. Back to Test Technology Symposium. Yes, HARP, it's a thing. Okay. But this is the one that concerns me. Weather modification using carbon black dust. Because they say this is where the conspiracy came from. He says it right here, guys. Clear as day. Weather modification using carbon black to increase cirrus cloud cover. And why does the military want to create cirrus clouds? Why do they want to make chemtrails using carbon black dust? Drum roll, please. To deny visual satellite or high altitude reconnaissance. To block out spy satellites in space. This is not me saying it. This is Dr. Arnold J. Barnes from the Phillips Laboratory saying it. To decrease light level for nighttime operations. Interesting. And then he talks about, how strong things are. And then he says this. Oh my God, what is this? Current capabilities. This is 1997, people. For the military, targeted fog dispersal, local changes in rain, cloud modification for surveillance coverage, reiterated, hole boring, burning holes in clouds, and create/suppress cirrus/contrails. That's the military for you. Okay? So the military says an ionospheric modification right there. Current capabilities, 1997. We can create clouds at will. But you're like, Jim, come on. I mean, really? That's all you got. Really? But that's not all I got, because you know what? This is by far not a new thing, because all the way back in 1958, Dr. Florence Van Straten, Navy scientist, creates clouds, breaks them up. Carbon black controls clouds. This is not a new idea, people. Those who forget the past, are doomed to repeat it. Those who do not know history are condemned to repeat it. The black budget. Yeah, the carbon black budget. Navy creation destroys clouds. Ordinary carbon black is used. September 23rd, 1958. So this has been going on for a very long time. This is cloud seeding used as geoengineering as well. Cloud seeding with carbon black dust that makes clouds that geoengineer the planet. Back to the stupid fact checker. Oh my God. And chemtrail conspiracy. It's just baseless claims. Baseless claims. What are you talking about, Jim? It's just airplane condensation trails. Don't focus on what they're condensing on. Why would you do that? Because water doesn't just condense on itself. It condenses on a cloud seed. That's where the term cloud seeding comes from. The seeds in the sky that are in the article that has a photo of a plane making white lines, the seed is metal, and the metal comes from the jet fuel. Can't kill this voice, but you can put an itch in it. So, two broad categories of geoengineering, blah, blah, blah. So we talked to Alan Robach. Okay. We talked to Alan Robach, and that made it all better. A climate science professor at Rutgers University, New Jersey, who previously told USA Today both categories of climate interventions are still being developed and studied. Robach explained much of the technology necessary to make these interventions work does not exist, and he was not aware of any ongoing experiments or operation utilizing geoengineering technology. Now that is, Alan, while I was interviewing James Roger Fleming in the hallway at the 21st Conference on Planned and Inadvertent Weather Modification, you know, and I know, I was there to interview you. And while I was sitting on that bench talking to James Roger Fleming, the guy who wrote this book, Alan Robach, you walked right by me in the hallway. You looked sideways, and then you were like, oh shit, that's Jim Lee. And you hauled ass out the door. And I missed my chance to talk to you. But we're going to have a chat. I would love to have an actual chat with you about this, because Alan, you're full of shit. If you told this to this woman, you're full of shit. If you didn't tell this to this woman, she's full of shit. Regardless, somebody's full of shit here. And I'm going to prove it right now. Alan Robach. All right. So, where's my geoengineering page? Let's go. So, if you want to know who Alan Robach is, he's sitting here in this video where David Keith talks about killing people. But I put together a nice little picture. Wait, I thought it was here. Is it not here? Not here. I got another picture where it's actually got his face. But anyway, that's Alan Robach right there. Just open the image in a new tab. So this is who's paying for geoengineering. Over here, National Science Foundation, NASA, Bill Gates Fund for Innovative Climate and Energy Research. But over here, you see SRM authors. Who's talking about geoengineering? Ken Caldera, David Keith, Alan Robach. Ken Caldera and Alan Robach have biggest ball on map, scatter plot. Ben Kravitz also, he talked about a lot about how it affects rainfall patterns. So just like, volcanoes do. Anyway, let's just go to Alan Robach real quick.
This is a really important moral point. So if I made a decision, or if there was a collective decision to do a geoengineering program, and you put, say, the kind of program I think makes more sense to put about 1 million tons a year in, but let's say, you might end up killing many tens of thousands of people a year as a direct result of that decision. I think that has moral consequences. I don't sweep it under the rug. So this is a case where I take this much differently from Alan and think it's a much more serious issue. Now, it's true that as part of doing that, you would hope that the overall benefits of human mortality would be so that you would save many, many more people than that.
That's Alan Robach sitting right there across the panel from David Keith, who just said geoengineering is going to kill tens of thousands of people. That's Alan Robach. Now, riddle me this. Alan Robach also said this. The CIA Weather Warfare and Climate Terrorism. I published this February 22nd, 2015 on ClimateViewer.com. And it was chill factor at the CIA weather query. And I go on at length about a whole bunch of other things in here. This is also on weathermodificationhistory.com. CIA concerned rogue geoengineering is undetectable. What was said? Alan Robach. Professor Robach said, I got a phone call from two men who said they work. Y'all can't read that. Let me make it bigger. I got a phone call from two men who said we work as consultants for the CIA, and we'd like to know if some other country was controlling our climate, would we know about it? I told them, after thinking a little bit, we probably would, because if you put enough material in the atmosphere to reflect sunlight, we would be able to detect it and see the equipment that was putting it up there. At the same time, they were probably also interested in if we could control somebody else's climate, could they detect it? That's Alan Robach's words. Does he sound like a conspiracy theorist now? Because he's concerned about what the CIA called him up on the phone and asked him. And that's why this came out. And it turns out that the CIA is a major funder of the National Academy's report. So that makes me really worried about who is going to be in control, he added, Professor Robach said. Yeah, that's the same Alan Robach. He's worried about the CIA funding geoengineering research. You got Brennan going at the Council on Foreign Relations talking about how geoengineering is this cool new idea. By the way, did you know that weather warfare in Vietnam? Guess who did that? That was cloud seeding with silver iodide and lead iodide. Yes, lead. It wasn't just Agent Orange that all your relatives were breathing. They were breathing lead because they were spraying lead into the clouds. Did I say lead? The CIA and Henry Kissinger and President Lyndon Johnson came up with this scheme to do weather warfare in Vietnam and did not even tell the Secretary of Defense. It was that secret. Operation Popeye. Correct, Willie Fix-It. And I saw Fallout Shelter mention it earlier. Extra credit to both of you. Operation Popeye, also known as Motor Pool, Intermediary, Compatriot, Weather Warfare over Vietnam. There was also CIA Project Nile Blue, the rain embargo on sugar Cuban crops. Think I'm kidding? But seeding near Cuba was to cause less rain, not more. It was supposed to squeeze rain out of clouds before it reached the island. You might say we tried to embargo rain clouds. Think I'm kidding? I'm going to scroll down past all this to the pictures. Canada. So literally a dude said a federal judge must decide whether the CIA and Pentagon infringed on a Canadian meteorologist rain-making process during the Vietnam War. That's proof, guys. Bernard A. Power, a professor of professional meteorologist and president of Weather Engineer Corp of Canada Limited, sued the United States 4 years ago And the trial began September 22nd in the U.S. Court of Claims. Arguments ended Friday. Judge Joseph E. something is expected to rule in about 10 days to the validity of Powell's patent. If it was valid, another hearing will be needed to decide whether the U.S. government agencies infringed on his rights when they stole his intellectual property. Power charged that he was the first to devise a container that could be dropped from an aircraft, explode in a cloud, and make it rain. So Bernard A. Power from Weather Engineer Corp of Canada made rain bombs. And that's what the CIA used. CIA tampered with Cuba's weather. The News Indicator, 1976. That's some of my beautiful artwork right there. I just put Henry Kissinger with the CIA in that same article together. Does the CIA control the weather? Some of that beautiful artwork I'd be doing. That's actually for a YouTube video cover. What? CIA are the weathermen. 1976. Another CIA plot, Cuba crops. And that's where the quote comes from right here. But the seeding near Cuba was not to cause less rain, not more. To make drought with cloud seeding. So the CIA has a history from weather warfare in Vietnam to Cuba to modern day geoengineering, with being involved in doing economic warfare and weather warfare against other countries. These are facts. You cannot argue with them. We have the receipts. It has been proven. It has been tried in court multiple different times. So CIA, they're boogeymen that like to do boogie things, and they're probably boogieing down with geoengineering. That's all I'm saying, okay? Most likely, that's the case. And anyway, so I guess we should summarize. I could go into all of these other things I have up, but let's just, now that they've made all their arguments, oh, none of this is real. Cloud seeding's just, it's just tiny little sprinkles of silver iodide and stuff. And, we fact checked this, and cloud seeding with flares on planes, or, ground, some programs also use ground-based cloud seeding machines. What they're talking about, just so you know, when they say it's on a hyper local scale, I'll just bring these up real quick. So hyper local scale, huh? That's the Chinese ground-based cloud seeding generators. And these are the cloud seeding generators in America. So you tell me, does that look like a hyper local scale to you? I mean, seriously, does that look hyper local to you at all? That many cloud seeding generators that I've been able to find personally. Okay, let's bring up a different map. Maybe it'll make it a little clearer to you, so you guys can see exactly where we're talking about here. So this is just in Colorado. Okay, this is Colorado Springs right here. In fact, let's have fun. Let's go over here. I'm going to come down here, and we're going to turn the mountains on. Boom. And we're going to come down here and look. And what you'll see is that wherever there are mountains, there are cloud seeding generators, far as the eye can see. Now, how many people would argue that what you're looking at right now with all these mountains is hyper local? That it does not affect anything downwind, that they're just, hyper local, like real local, like real local. And if you're wondering where I got these points from, I did my homework. This is actually from, the government and their actual reports of, where their target areas are, where the snowtail sites are, where the generator sites are, manual or remote controlled. That's the stars, the purple things and the green circles. And I just basically, I put this into Google Earth, and then I went and I put a dot on each one. So every single one of these has references and where I got it from. This is from the Colorado Water Board, state.co.us. So this is straight from the Colorado state government website. I didn't make it up. I seriously doubt it's still there. But guess what? Since I'm a cheating little son of a bitch, let's go to this. I'm gonna go to my dev, and then I'm gonna go to check archive right here. And then I'm gonna go to the archive.org, because you know what I did? Way back in 2015, I back up everything that I download, baby. So then you can actually go there and see that I did pull this up from the Colorado State Water Board, Colorado Water Conservation Board, Weather Modification Permit Application Public Hearing. I want you guys to know that I don't put stuff out there that I cannot prove beyond a shadow of a doubt. I am willing to walk in front of Congress, the Senate, any courtroom, and if I say it, I'm going to be able to pull up the receipts and go, see, motherfucker, this really is real what you're looking at. I didn't just make these graphics up. They are well referenced. These are facts, okay? And the facts are, this was pulled directly from the Colorado government. Public hearing for Western Weather Consultants, the people who did the weather modification there. Target area, Upper Colorado River Basin, September 24th, 2012. You cannot argue with this. So this is what they were originally arguing about in the article, that how dare these people and this person on freaking Instagram post a picture of this and get 264 likes. The hell? 265 likes. Oh yeah, we should probably like comment with this video so that they know, because I don't see anybody that's even commented on here yet that, oh, by the way, did you know that you're in USA Today right now? That's interesting. I'm going to be sure to go to both this and comment this video afterwards. And I hope that they'll, then ask these motherfuckers for a retraction, because that's what should happen. That's what should happen. But no, this is not hyper local. This is very large scale. And all across Nevada, if you go into Idaho, all of these are actually run by Idaho Power Company. So same deal all along the mountain ranges. When you get this is called snowpack augmentation. It happens October through March of every single year since 1949, when it was invented by Irving P. Crick. Period, point blank, end of story. It is not hyperlocal. And the reason I'm bringing all this up is because I'm going to now just quickly go. They made all these points. They said this article is just conflating weather modification with Faye, thanks for the sub. Appreciate you. That just kind of blinked up there and it was hidden by these little ads and stuff. I barely even saw it. The mainstream media has finally admitted that what alternative media has been reporting for years, governments across the world are secretly manipulating the weather using top secret geoengineering technology. Now, if there's anything incorrect about this statement at all, it's because he used the word geoengineering. Okay, that's all they're trying to argue. But wait till you read the context. That's what this whole damn thing was about. They were debunked. They were fact checking an Instagram post of a guy who took a picture of an article from a frequent fake news website when they're the actual fake news website. Wait till you hear what he actually says. And I'm just going to scroll to that part. So, of course, he shows all these things. There are currently 42 cloud seeding projects across the American West. And you know, they only affect the West. They don't affect anything else. The question we should have asked, why, when we built every single parking lot and every rooftop, we've been manipulating the weather with us for a very long time. You know, concluded Z, can cloud seeding help the Colorado River? That's why I'm focusing on Colorado. I'm just tying a bow on all this right now. Some researchers are even using artificial intelligence to program and operate cloud seeding drones. A lot of stuff on drones on weather on modificationhistory.com and climateviewer.com. But yeah, there's her showing some cloud seeding flares on the back of a plane. That's what a cloud seeding plane looks like. But this is the part that got me going. He says in 2001, the outlet explained that the state of Texas was cloud seeding over 1/3 of the state, a region of 45 million acres. Fact. That is true. That's 100% true. In 2016, ABC bluntly stated, yes, humans can actually modify the weather, and it's been going on for decades. Here's the lowdown on how cloud seeding works. True. True again. Been going on since the 1889. I mean, before 1946, it was called pluviculture. Then it became cloud seeding in 1946, when cloud seeding was invented by Irving Langmuir, Vincent Schaefer, and Bernard Vonnegut. But that's not the point. The article noted as Z, this is the person, the reporter who's talking about, that weather modification has been going on all over the world for decades, citing the 1940s as the period modern cloud seeding began. It's true. That's true also. In fact, if you come here to weathermodificationhistory.com, you can simply just do this. You can go right here, you can go to timeline, and you can scroll down here, and there's geoengineering, weather modification, and space weather modification. If you just click on weather modification, it'll take everything out but that. And if you go right here, here's where Vincent Schaefer, Irving Langmuir, and Bernard Vonnegut invented cloud seeding. And you can actually see it. And you can read the references and everything. This is what they look like. Vincent Schaefer breathed in a freaking freezer, and cloud seeding was born. Irving Langmuir, because they say it's just hyper-local, Jimbo. What you so upset about? How about this? Irving Langmuir, who invented cloud seeding, also said this. Rainmaking or weather control can be as powerful a war weapon as the atom bomb, a Nobel Prize winning physicist said today. Dr. Irving Langmuir, pioneer in rainmaking, said the government should seize on the phenomenon of weather control as it did on atomic energy when Albert Einstein told the late President Roosevelt in 1939 of the potential power of an atom-splitting weapon. In the amount of energy liberated, the effect of 30 milligrams of silver iodide under optimum conditions equals that of one atomic bomb. That is not me saying it. That is not Jim Lee from Sumter, South Carolina saying it. That's not a stupid ass fact checker from a lamestream outlet getting paid by Facebook to fact check a 300 like Instagram post. That is the motherfucker who invented cloud seeding. And he said just 30 milligrams, tiniest amount of silver iodide under optimum conditions equals that of one atomic bomb. Shout out to my homie Dominic Marama, my brother from another mother up in Canada, for making this beautiful graphic and putting that quote next to it. But that's the facts. That's the facts. It's not hyper local. It never is. The butterfly effect of what you do in the atmosphere, unknown. Nobody can prove it. That's how they get away with it. That's why I get so heated about this. But yeah, that's cloud seeding. That's how it was invented. Vincent Schaefer. That's what he looked like before he died. Same guy. General Electric scientists cause snow to form in cloud. 1946, November 14th. Less than a year later, they would try their first attempt at steering a hurricane. Dominic Marama did all of the newspaper articles. His graphics work. He went into Google News and all of these different things. And then you know how you read it on the front page and then it says continued on page 10A. He took them and put them all back together into a single image. And I can't understate this enough. Nobody will ever appreciate the amount of work it goes into making 849 images of this quality of the history of weather control, like Dominic Marama did. I can appreciate it. You'll never understand. You'll never understand. You could spend the next 2 years just reading that page alone. All the newspaper articles from when we had actual journalists, not lame ass fact checkers from fake news sources, debunking fact checking Instagram posts. Oh my God. But anyway, I'm going to get back to the article because I want you to hear what his main point was. Oh, and did Vincent Schaefer say this? Cloud seeding cause of U.S. floods. A pioneer rainmaker said there should be an investigation to determine whether cloud seeding might have intensified the devastating Midwest floods. Dr. Vincent J. Schaefer, weather scientist at the General Electric Research Laboratory, created the first man-made snowfalls in November 1946 and pioneered artificial rainmaking experiments. He said the fact that seeding operations in the West are more widespread this year than ever before, and that's kind of hard to read, it's imperative that a critical but unbiased study should be made to determine whether these seeding activities intensified or influenced unusual storms. Senate and House representative committees have been investigating rainmaking for months to see if there is a need for federal control over cloud seeding. Experts before committees have split sharply over how much rain can be produced by artificial means. But Vincent Schaefer, the guy who invented cloud seeding, along with Irving Langmuir, the guy who just talked about the atomic bomb and how strong this shit is, he said, wait a minute, in 1951, is what I invented causing floods in America? And maybe we should have more control over this? But then it gets worse. Dr. Irving Langmuir, the same one that we just talked about, the man who fathered the science of rainmaking, said Thursday he believes armed forces experiments may have caused the disastrous Missouri Valley floods of June 1952. Dr. Irving Langmuir, a Nobel Prize winner and consultant for General Electric Company, experiments with rainmaking, also declared, One, an Air Force test on a tornado off the eastern coast, October 17, 1947, may have turned the twister off its course and pushed it into Savannah, Georgia, with damage of $5 million. Now, see, they actually twisted that up right there. This is the reporter actually getting his shit wrong. What Irving Langmuir was talking about there was in October of 1947, it wasn't a twister, it wasn't a tornado. The Air Force was doing Project Cirrus, and they actually seeded the Cape Sable tropical storm, which then turned into a hurricane, which then slammed into Georgia. So that's what they're actually talking, with damage of $5 million and 2 people died. Number 2, there's evidence that rainmaking is in some areas may create drought in others. Langmuir was interviewed while attending the International Arid Land Symposium, where scientists from 18 nations are seeking answers to the rapidly growing in regions that are already covering a third of the Earth's land surface. Steady downpour. He declared that he thinks now, and insisted at the time, that a single silver iodide generator operating out of Alamogordo, New Mexico, under Project Cirrus, I just said that, caused the steady downpours which drowned the Missouri Valley 3 years ago. Quote, "We've been seeding for some time, and the storms kept getting bigger and better. I told them, the armed forces heads administering the project, that I felt we ought to stop seeding. The rains in Missouri Valley kept falling." Quote, "But the administrator of the project was on vacation at the time. No one would take responsibility for ordering the seeding stopped." Still quotes, Irving Langmuir, "Finally, I got them. We must stop. I told them we must stop. Things are getting serious." We stopped on July 2nd. On July 7th, the flood just about devastated Omaha. If we had stopped our generator 2 weeks earlier, Langmuir said, the Missouri Valley floods would not have happened. This is from 1955. I just gave you 2 examples from 2 of the people who invented cloud seeding. Powerful as an atomic bomb. Powerful as an atomic bomb. Okay? That it causes floods, downwinds, and that the military is involved in cloud seeding. And he couldn't even get somebody on the phone to tell them to stop doing it because you're gonna flood Omaha and kill people. But this guy writes an article, and this is what he says. This is the summation of this video. Meanwhile, as scientists manipulate the weather without full knowledge of how it could alter the climate elsewhere, the average American is being shamed by the political establishment for drinking out of plastic straws and driving vehicles with gasoline engines. It's plausible the 42 known cloud seeding operations and the unknown amount of weather manipulation schemes are more responsible for the recent increase in extreme weather events than global warming. That is why they attacked this article. That is why they had their fact checkers at fake ass news, USA Today and ABC News, funded by Facebook, go and censor a damn Instagram post with less than 300 likes on it because this guy said the truth. Is it plausible that crazy weather, extreme weather, is more to blame on weather modification and geoengineering than global warming? That is not mentioned one single time in the actual fact check. They just point out oh, well, we talked to Alan Robach, and it's hyper local. Nothing to see here, guys. That's what these motherfuckers have always done. That's what they always will do. And we will always hold them to account. And I say to the People's Voice.tv that put this out, your heart was in the right place, and you're actually right. You're actually right. Irving Langmeyer agrees with you. He invented cloud seeding. Vincent Schaefer agrees with you. He invented cloud seeding. This woman does not know what she's talking about. Isabella Fertel, you are canceled. You should have your fact checker diploma taken away. You should not be getting $1 from Facebook. Facebook, shame on you for relying on such bunk ass research. Shame on you for censoring people who obviously are better critical thinkers than the fake news fact checkers who have been debunked once again on this program. And peace and love to my brother, Mike Morales. Did I get him, Mike? Did I get him, buddy? Rise up, motherfuckers. South gonna do it again. And that is how you attack ideas, not people. Isabella Fertel, you may be slack at your job. You may be terrible at research. You may be a horrible fact checker who works for a fake news outlet. But I still respect your right to have an opinion, and you should have the respect to not censor other people's opinions. Because apparently the person you censored was way more right than you know. Don't talk to me about climate change or global warming unless you know about the climate changers. And how about you fact checkers start learning about the climate changers by going to weathermodificationhistory.com, coming to climateviewer.com, looking at the maps on climateviewer.org. Look at the history of all of this. And you tell me with a straight face that all that is just fake. It's just fake news, guys. And it wouldn't be a shout out to my brother Mike Morales if I didn't show y'all a beautiful picture. Good old ship track. We could do that right now. All right, hold up. We get this thing up here real quick. Reset the size on this thing. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna look at some ship tracks, because the ship tracks are the ship. All right, and here we go. Let's go. Oh, I didn't turn that off. Let me turn that off. So this is what the ship tracks look with the regular light. Boom, 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 boom. We're looking at them ship tracks. And we didn't even talk about the ship tracks. But we'll talk shit about the ship tracks another time. We all know about the ship tracks, and whenever you want to really see the ship tracks, you turn on the NASA 367 band and they just highlight for you like this. The ship tracks in the ship tracks, and you can see all that shit in the ship tracks all over the place. Because whenever you got the normal lights on, they're harder to see. But yes, that bunker fuel be stanking up the ocean, and that's geoengineering too. But we covered that in the last video. So if you guys want to know more about that, check out the last video. Talked about that. If you really want to know a lot about it, you can, and Mike will tell you this is true. Because back in 2018, more than 4 years ago. 5 years ago. Shit. Sunday, April 1st, 2018. So yeah, 5 years ago, I wrote this beautiful bastard for Climate X MIT, and they deleted it. Accidental geoengineering with ship tracks and contrails. And we didn't even have to talk about the chemtrails. We didn't even have to talk about them. But we will in the next one. We'll hyper focus on this one in the next one. We're going to talk about debunker fuel. Steve Mercer with a super chat. You are the man, Jim. Rest in peace, Mike. I am not the man. I am only a human. And the only man is him above. God, thank you so much for giving me the ability to decipher bullshit from truth, to be a internet sleuth, to be a hacker graphics artist, and dedicate myself to this because you brought me an angel. That angel's name is Kelly Lee, and she came into my life more than 24 years ago, and we had a daughter. And when I had that daughter, Caroline, I began my journey into ClimateViewer and caring about things other than myself. So if it weren't for God bringing me out of a drug-induced alcoholic coma and sending an angel named Kelly into my life, and us having a daughter named Caroline, and me then saying, you know what, there are things bigger than myself that I should care about. Bigger than the video games. I still like the video games. Bigger than myself, and I should probably care about it. So in 2009, I went from anonymous hacker to, you know what? It's time for me to not be anonymous any longer. Put my name, my number, my address, my everything on the internet and say, you know what? It's time to go harder than a motherfucker. I'm going to go ham, but I can't do that and be anonymous. I've got to go show up. And that's when I started down this path. And that's why God granted me the ability and put me in this position to do this. And I thank God for that. I thank God for taking Mike in, because I know Mike's up there. And Mike, one day, me and you are going to high five when this thing is shut down. But all of it goes to God. And that's the truth. And I mean, I get cocky on here. Awakening Soul Dire. Soldier. It's like soldier. I like that. Please share Jim's playlist. Mine too. Rip Mike. Rest in peace, Mike. Y'all check out his channel. Apparently he's got some cool playlists over there. Awakening Soldier. I'm going to have to, let me see if I can get your channel real quick. I want to bookmark that. Gotcha, brew. Oh, hell yeah. You know what? I'm going to share it right now. Everybody in chat, check out his playlist. They actually are pretty damn good. I'm seeing them right now. Bookmarked. I will put them on right after this show. And real quick, let me do this and bookmark that. All right, bookmarked. Thank you so much for the super chat. But yeah, guys, don't trust the fact checkers. And if you do see another fact check article in the near future, please send them my way to jim@climateviewer.com. You can find that on connect.climateviewer.com. Also, quick note, normally around this time, I try to raise the money to pay for my servers and my graphic software and all of the, you know, all of the recurring stuff. This year I got like no tax return. And usually I try to raise about $1,000 to $2,000 for the year. So far I've raised about $130 of that. So in the details of this video where it says something to the effect, I don't know, what does it say? What does it say, Jimmy? It says in the donate section, obviously. Everybody said PayPal and Patreon, we hate it. So I do have a Gibson Go and a buymeacoffee.com/ClimateViewer. It's in the details of this video. If you guys could support my channel, I'd greatly appreciate it. I need to expand my server because I've got a new update for ClimateViewer.com coming out. The new version is abso-freaking-lutely gorgeous. And since we've already gone this long, why don't I just show y'all a sneak peek of what it looks like? I mean, is anybody going to be offended if I take another minute and do that? I don't think so. If you've been here this long, you probably won't mind. But this is what we're going to, I'm going to come over here and let me fire up, no. Hugo server. Fire up my server. Real quick, we're going to fire up the server on the PowerShell. Usually takes about 10 seconds, but you know, this is a hoss ass PC. All right, that's in there, and then we'll come over here and I'll just grab any one of these random pages and hit F12, bring up my thing right here. So that's up, and then we'll go to development, localhost, and this is what the new ClimateViewer.com looks like. So you guys, I'll do a little side by side real quick, just so you guys can get an idea of what's going on here. And then we'll go to this one. This is the new one. We'll put that right there. Absolute hell. Do the thing. Do the thing. So we'll go back here to the front page. So before, you know, I had a whole bunch of articles like posted on the front page that look like this. Okay. And it was very crowded. People have a hard time finding everything. I wanted to simplify that. So the new improved ClimateViewer.com looks much cleaner in comparison. You know, I put on there my old slogan. Oh man, I'm missing super chats right now. Mark Daga, you'll put it to much better use than I will. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that, dude. And Debbie Lamon, thank you, Jim. You're the best. Thank you guys are the best. I need the support. I really appreciate it. But this is what the new ClimateViewer.com is going to look like. Geoengineering, pollution, privacy, propaganda, with a beautiful dark mode toggle button at the top, because if you don't have a dark mode, it's just not cool enough for me. So this is going to be standard on all three of my websites in the near future. Coming down here to the main pages. So you got geoengineering and weather modification, HARP and the sky heaters, the shady truth about plane farts and chemtrails and contrails, and the Environmental Modification Accountability Act. If you go to the menu now has just that, you know, the frequently asked questions pages, HARP and the sky heaters, you know, all that stuff, pollution, privacy, propaganda, radiation, electromagnetic nuclear, links to the maps on the homepage in ClimateViewer 3D, weather modification history and all that, all there. And then the donate section right here for PayPal, Cash App, Gibson Go, Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee. And to make everything simple so that everything's in one spot, people can come right here to the front page of ClimateViewer.com, and it'll have links to my YouTube channel, my Rumble channel, my Odyssey channel, my BitChute channel. And if you want to see, you don't get those updates, you'll literally be able to click right here and guess what you'll see. PayPal, Cash App, video you're watching right now. Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, live on my website. So that's going to be the future. How's that for picture in picture? And a playlist of all the videos that I've recently made, so you can just scroll through them right there on the front page. I want the new ClimateViewer page. Someplace on Earth donated $20. I appreciate you. Someplace on Earth. I don't even know what to say to that. You're somewhere on Earth. I appreciate you. And all my social media stuff will be there, in addition to linking directly to the news vault at weathermodificationhistory.com, the most important PowerPoint presentations that I've done, things like that, and all of the actual pages have gotten an update, you could say. Let's see this one. Like this, where they have the PowerPoint presentations that I've done, the Brainiac version here, and the weather control for dummies here, and you can download the PowerPoint or as a PDF, and then it actually has these sections that you can expand and collapse on what everything is, steering atmospheric rivers, technologies to control the weather, what the terminology means is actually explained. Freaking black ant just crawling on my microphone. Cloud condensation nuclei, ice nucleating particles, government reports on weather modification, and the actual files, what those reports look like. And you can download those locally from the website. United Nations World Meteorological Organization reports on weather modification. And all the AMS conferences. This is the one I attended, and there will be another one next year. So I plan on going to that one too. But this is the new climateviewer.com I'm working on. I really want to get it up as soon as possible, but it will not be available until it is absolutely perfect. And any donations you guys send help me spend more time doing this. I appreciate everybody for tuning in to another Debunking the Fact Checkers. It's always fun. It's always fun shitting on people from the media. I live for it. And I think that it's enjoyable. It's educational. It's a fun way to unbrainwash the brainwashers. Maybe even Isabella will learn something from this. So what I hope that you guys will do is share this video, not only with your friends and your, people but go over to the actual article itself, USA Today. I'm going to put it in the chat, in the live chat right now. And the original source, the guy who got Instagram smashed, go put a whole bunch of likes on that guy. And the original article that they were debunking, they were fact checking, and send them this video, because real eyes, real lies, real lies. And these fact checkers are not going to get away with this forever. I mean, their credibility is already in the toilet. People are looking for the facts. They're looking for the truth. So what would Mike do? He'd give it to him, baby. He'd give it to him. Hashtag WWMD. I love you guys. Now you got the information. And with information comes power. With power comes great responsibility. So please use the information that I provided you today while debunking a fact checker to attack ideas, not people. See you on the next one. Video resonates with you, leave me a comment, because I love hearing from y'all. First time here, I need to update be sure to subscribe outro and click the bell. I'll work on that. Remember, love you guys. It would be impossible for me to do this without your support, so please join my Patreon or buy me a coffee on PayPal. And always, attack ideas, not people. one last thing. I just want to say thank you also to everybody who has supported Mike when I made the video Friday. Mike's GoFundMe was at $32,000. Since Friday, this community has raised $12,000 for Shelly. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everybody who's gone over there. And if you have to choose between me and Mike or Shelly to support right now, pick Shelly. I'll figure it out. But keep that in mind. Mike's GoFundMe is permanently going to be in the details of this video and every video I make from now on. And Shelly will always need our support, need our love. And I appreciate everybody. We've raised more than $12,000 since Friday as a family. And I applaud everybody who did that. So to every one of you, I just saw in the comments, I'm supporting Shelly right now, and I couldn't help but come back on here. Plus, I saw my homeboy, Kevin Allen, throw a super chat in there right at the end. Kevin was an OG Anon, just like me. And Kevin went by the name Master of Many Things. To Kevin Allen, just seeing your name, brother, man, brings back memories, man. We did some shit, dude. We did some shit. I can't talk about none of it because I won't either one of us get arrested, but you know what you did. And I want to say to everybody who helped raise that $12,000 since Friday, God bless you. Mike's GoFundMe is permanently in the details of this video and will always be there. It's in the support us section at the very top of it. And I hope that everybody does that along with the video I made Friday and the video that Fallout Shelter Brock did. And I hope that you guys never ever forget Mike. Christine Lyden, Chris, what are you doing? And Chris is this. I ended the video already. You guys are killing me. So Christine Lyden is a good friend of mine, and I made her website for her also in the support us section, and it is called Why Does the Moon Shine So Bright by Christine Farron Lyden. So thank you, Christine, for the super chat. If you guys want an amazing book for your children, and my daughter, my 6-year-old daughter, Emma, absolutely loves this book. And it teaches, it's a book about, being a critical thinker. Let's just put it that way. But you just can't beat. The story and the artwork in this book are phenomenal. I mean, just phenomenal. So I know I need to make more websites, but I'm trying to work on my website, and I texted you about the website. So you let me know when I need to make that website for those people that we're not going to talk about on this live stream, or those people, and I'll do that. Also available in Spanish. Links in the details. Go support Christine. She's just, a regular Joe like us, and she makes children's books. But links in the details. Thank you all for tuning in. I gotta go. My kids are gonna be home any minute, and I don't want to end the stream saying, say goodbye, Caroline, like I did with the last one. So love you guys. Catch you on the next one.